First is isoelectronic species. Species having equal electrons. Species having equal number of electrons. Equal number of electrons. Few example you remember. Mg2 plus, Na plus, Al3 plus, Si4 plus, F minus, O2 minus, N3 minus, C4 minus, C4 minus. These are all isoelectronic with 10 electrons. Keep this in mind. This has been asked in many exams, MSET also. Next is Cl minus, S2 minus, K plus, scandium 3 plus. These are all important isoelectronics that you need to master. Mg2 plus, F minus. This in pairs also they have asked. So isoelectronic species are those species which have equal number of electrons. Which have equal number of electrons. Keep this in mind. One question you can expect in MSET from this. This year they can ask you like this. Suppose they give you 18 electron, that they can add P3 minus also 18 electron. Okay, so these are all isoelectronic with 18 electrons. These are all with 10 electrons. Next question which is likely to come is from your electronic configuration. Electronic configuration. So most of you know that what is electronic configuration, how to write it. So simple one they will not ask, mostly they will ask from scandium, titanium, vanadium, chromium, manganese, iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc. So scandium is argon 4s2 3d1. This is argon 4s2 3d2. Vanadium is argon 4s2 3d3. But chromium is an exceptional configuration, so you have to remember chromium. Argon 4s1 3d5, exceptional because 3d5 is more stable than 3d4 due to symmetry and exchange energy. It's very important, so chromium is important for your upcoming exam. Next is Mn normal. Mn is simply argon 4s2 3d5. So it has 5 unpaired electron. Iron is also simple, argon 4s2 3d6. Again, then special is copper. Copper is argon 4s1 3d10. So special configuration for, because 3d10 is more stable than 3d9. So copper and chromium you have to remember for your exam. Zinc, cadmium, mercury are regarded as pseudo transition element. Pseudo transition element. So that you have to remember. So this is the second question they can ask. So they can ask you the configuration of Fe2 plus, Fe3 plus, Mn2 plus, Mn 7 plus. They can ask you vanadium 3 plus, chromium 3 plus. They can ask you cobalt 3 plus, nickel 2 plus, and they can ask you magnetic moment. So magnetic moment is given by N plus 2 Bohr magneton. So magnetic moment is dependent on number of unpaired electron. This is the spin only formula. More is the number of unpaired electron, more is the magnetic moment. Okay. So keep remember this, you can only solve when you know how to find out the number of unpaired electrons. So in one of my video, I have discussed the finding the unpaired electrons, very easy to find. I will discuss here also. So what you need to do, you have to remember the atomic number. So 26 minus 2 is 24. 24 you have to subtract 18. So 6 means 4 unpaired electrons. D cannot have 6 unpaired electrons. Maximum D can hold is 5 unpaired electrons. Now Fe3 plus 26 minus 3 is 23. 23 minus 18 is 5. So it has 5 unpaired electrons. Mn2 plus 25 minus 2 is 23. 23 minus 18 is 5. So it is 5 unpaired electrons. Mn7 plus is 18. 18 minus 18 is 0. So 0. Cobalt 3 plus. Cobalt is 27. 27 minus 3 is 24. 24 minus 8 is 6. 4 unpaired. Nickel 28. 28 minus 2. 26. 26 minus 8. 8 means 2 unpaired electrons. So this way 24 minus 3 is 21, 21 minus 18 is 3 unpaired electron in chromium. Vanadium is 23, 23 minus 3 is 20, 20, that means 2 unpaired electron. This way you can find out the unpaired electron. This is another important question. So first topic isoelectronic, second electronic configuration, third finding unpaired electron with magnetic moment, that is spin only formula. This is the third most important question. Fourth question is based on some specific element electronic configuration, like we saw exceptional electronic configuration, like gadolinium, PB, PT, ruthenium. So these some elements are given in NCERT book. From that you can prepare. And copper, chromium, I have already told you. Next, you can prepare the group wise like NS1. This is group 1, NS2, group 2, group 13, NS2, NP1, group 13, NS2, NP2, group 14, NS2, NP3, group 15, NS2, NP4, group 16, NS2, NP5, group 17, NS2, NP6, group 18, except helium. So this way you can prepare the group wise also. So configuration is also important, like for D3, n-1, D1 to 10, NS0 to 2. Like F block, they can ask n-2, F1 to 14, n-1, D0 to 1, NS2. So these are for inner transition element, these are for transition element. So if you remember this configuration, you are expected to get one question. Next. Sixth, they can ask you about covalent radius, they can ask you van der Waals radius, they can ask you metallic radius, that is called crystal radius. So you must know that van der Waals radius is more larger than metallic radius is larger than covalent radius. Keep this in mind. There are formulas, very simple formulas, you can use it to find out. Next question they will give you based on ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy question generally always comes in MSET. So ionization enthalpy, like they will ask you first ionization enthalpy, like first ionization enthalpy of nitrogen is more than first ionization enthalpy of oxygen. First ionization enthalpy of beryllium is more than first ionization enthalpy of boron. Similarly, first ionization enthalpy of phosphorus is more than first ionization enthalpy of sulfur. Similarly, first ionization enthalpy of magnesium is more than first ionization enthalpy of aluminum. So these are the expected questions. They can ask you this year second ionization enthalpy, which you can only do by writing configuration. By writing configuration and checking for stability. Write configuration and decide the second ionization enthalpy. If that the alkali metal second ionization enthalpy will be very high. For alkaline earth metal, third will be very high. So ionization enthalpy do give you idea about the valence electron also. So keep these things in mind. Coming to chemical bonding, what they can ask you in bonding. First, you have to prepare the hybridization. Hybridization trick has already been given to you. Like if all carbon single bonds are there, then sp3. If a double bond comes, then sp2. If a triple bond comes, then sp. This is the organic part, which you can be expected. No. Another is total valence electron less than equal to 8, then divide by 2. Divide by 2. divide by 2. So keep in mind that uh, methane is sp3, ammonia is sp3, H2O is sp3. All are sp3, but the shape is changed. It is tetrahedral, no lone pair. It is pyramidal. It is bent. Keep everyone yourself on mute and just listen what I am telling. So methane has 109 degree 28 minute, whereas ammonia has 107 degree, water has 104.5 degree. So despite having the same hybridization, due to presence of lone pair, the shape of the molecule changes and the bond angle changes. Keep everyone yourself on mute. Next, they can ask you VSEPR theory related to VSEPR, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. They can ask you for simple molecule like what is the shape of IF7, what is the shape of SF6, what is the shape of PCl5. IF7 is pentagonal bipyramidal. Pentagonal bipyramidal. Keep yourself on mute. SF is octahedral. And PCl5 is trigonal bipyramidal. So you can prepare this for lone pair also one, and these are for no lone pair ones. So valence shell electron pair repulsion theory is an important topic from which questions can be asked. Coming to sometimes they ask do the bond length, like single bond is 1.54 angstrom, double bond is 1.34 angstrom, triple bond is 1.20 angstrom, and bond length in benzene, which has 1.5 bond order, is 1.39. This is in benzene. This is in alkane. So this question can also be asked. This is an important question. Bond length. So this is alkane. This is alkene. This is alkyne. And this is benzene. Due to resonance, all the benzene bond length is 1.39. Now, there has been a question which I want to discuss. This came in 2009 MSET. So I want to discuss this question. Ammonia lone pair, water lone pair, HCF2 lone pair, CH4 lone pair. So very simple. Ammonia has one lone pair, water has two lone pair. Then on difluoride has three lone pair, and methane has zero lone pair. So this was a matching type question which you can easily solve. So this was the MSET 2009 question. So very important. Keep this in mind, student. This is really the lone pair one. Like this year's I am giving you guys, HCF2 has three lone pair, HCO3 has one lone pair, HCF4 has two lone pair, HCF6 has one lone pair. So they can repeat, they can ask this question of lone pair. So keep in mind. So lone pair related question can be asked, which you can easily solve if you know the bonding characteristic. One question which I have seen recently they have asked is sp3 dsp2. This is 2014 question. So based on this you can solve. This is sp3d2 and this is d2sp3. So you have to match it. So CONH whole 3 whole 6. This is direct from Telugu Academy or NCERT book. If you have read it properly, you could answer it very easily. So you know that nickel tetracarbonyl nickel is sp3. Here nickel oxidation state is 0, and this is simply dsp2 because it has a strong field ligand. And one of the example PTNS3 whole 2 Cl2. You know that platinum coordination number 4 is dsp2 square planar, and the last one COF6 3 minor. Due to weak field ligand, this is sp3d2. So this was an ANSET 2014 question. Note down. So these are likely similar questions can come in your exam. Next, what you can see that they are asking like PCl3 has what shape, that you know it is trigonal pyramidal. DF3 you know trigonal planar, trigonal planar. CLF3 as you know it is T-shaped. So such type of matching type question can HCF4 has square planar. So this type of question can be asked. So do prepare student. These are very important. They have asked question of bond order. So I have in my channel, there is a trick video of bond order, very easy. Remember this trick, you will be able 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Remember this. And in 14, total electron bond order is 3. In 15, it is 2.5. In 16, it is 2. In 17, 1.5. In 18, 1. In 19, 0.5. And 20, 0. Similarly, in 13, the bond order is 2.5. In 12, the bond order is 2. In 11, the bond order is 1.5. In 10, the bond order is 1. In 9, the bond order is 0.5. And in 8, 0. So from 8 to 20, this trick will be helpful. I have seen one question in 2018, very beautiful question they have asked, like O2 2 minus F2 F F2 sorry, lithium Li2 He2 2 plus. So here 18 electrons, here 18 electrons, here 6 electron, and here 2 electrons. You will know that in 18 electron the bond order is 1, so these have one bond order, even this has one bond. Even this has one bond order and this has one bond order. So keep this in mind. Next was that N2 has 14, so it has 3 bond order, and O2 2 plus also has 14 electrons, so it also 3 bond order. So this was the question of 2018 shift 2 of MSET. So do prepare this student bond order related. This trick will be really handy. You can visit my channel and watch it. Like in 2014, MSET asked the question bond order of N2. So simple 14 electron, it has 3 bond order. So nitrogen has triple bond. So this was 2014, 14 electron, 3 bond order. Very simple question there. Next question they can ask you is covalent character. Covalent character. So covalent character you can easily solve based on Fajans rule. Fajans rule. Keep in mind that small cation, large anion, and pseudo noble gas configuration. These three conditions are there. Pseudo noble gas configuration. These three configuration condition you find, it will have more covalent character. So covalent character increases when the size of cation increases. The smaller the cation, higher the polarizing power, larger the anion, larger the polarizability, and the one with pseudo noble gas configuration and more polarizing power. So this all factor increases the covalent character. This was explained by Fajan. So question based on this came in 2016. I want to show you KF, KCl, Ki. So if you see fluorine, fluorine is the smallest here, then chloride ion, then iodine. So larger anion is iodide, so more covalent character. So covalent character of KF is less than KCl. So maximum covalent character is Ki. So this is very beautiful question that came in MSET 2016. So keep this in mind, students. This will be really, really helpful for you. Next question, what they can ask you is that they can give you group like PCl5, BRF5, XCF2, ICl, XCF4, ClO4, SCl4, CH4. They can ask you central, which has same number of lone pair on central atom, ClO4 minus it will. So this you can simply do based on whisper theory. So you can do it, this question. This was asked in 2010 MSET. So try this question yourself, students. Very easy. You can do it. Coming to gas laws. Gas laws, they are asking questions directly from graphical questions. Graphical questions based on Boyle's law, based on Charles' law, based on combination of laws, combined gas law, combined combination of loss. So based on this, they can ask you real gas, and particularly they are very fond of van der Waals equation, van der Waals equations. Like few years back, they asked one question. I want to show you. They asked you to write van der Waals equation. So van der Waals equation is P plus an square by v square, v minus nb equal to nRT. So they asked you to write for n equal to 1 mole. So you can easily write P plus a by v square, v minus b equal to RT. This is van der Waals equation for 1 mole. So this I remember it was a 2014, I think 2014 question. 2018 question, sorry, 2018 MSET shift 1 question. Very easy van der Waals equation they have asked for writing for 1 mole. So this is also a very good question from this. One question they have asked that was also very easy. The question is ratio of most probable velocity for N2 by ratio of this ratio for CO. So what you have to do simply you have to write, if you know that most probable speed is 2RT by M, so you can easily find out. So it will be T nitrogen into molar mass of CO upon T CO into molar mass of N2. So if you solve this, you can get nitrogen temperature is given 400, carbon monoxide temperature is given 800, and molar mass of both are same. Both are same. So it is 1 by root 2. So 1 by root 2 is nothing but 0.707. This was MSET 17 question. MSET 17 question. So you can simply just remember the formula of most probable average velocity is root under 8 RT by pi m. Or you can remember RMS is equal to 3 RT by m. So this will really help you solve the question, student. So this was the question which has been asked in 2017. They asked sometime you will find that from inorganic also they are asking like low oxidation state is stable for which, like this is 17 question, like magnesium, aluminum, gallium, D thallium. So as you know, thallium due to inert pair has low oxidation state of +1. So +1 is very stable for thallium due to inert pair effect. So this question you can easily solve that thallium +1 is more stable than thallium +3. Whereas the +2 state for magnesium is stable, +3 for here. And the +1 is stable for gallium also, but not as stable as thallium. So keep this in mind. This was another question, beautiful, which was asked. So these are the questions that they are asking. Next question, what they have asked is from solid state. They have asked like the metal which is not ferromagnetic. So magnetic property you have to remember, the metal which is not ferromagnetic. So this was asked, and you all know very well which is not ferromagnetic. It's not a big deal. Iron is ferromagnetic. Manganese is not a ferromagnetic. Cobalt is ferromagnetic. Nickel is ferromagnetic. So manganese is not a ferromagnetic material. So this is simple, straightforward question. So you have to remember the Telugu Academy book. What are the examples given from that? Mostly they will ask. They are asking KO2 exhibits paramagnetic behavior. So this is due to the paramagnetic nature. A very beautiful question. It was also asked in IIT. So this is KO minus K plus O2 D O2 minus. So this is due to O2 minus, because if you remove the K plus, it becomes O2 minus. So O2 minus has 17 electron. If you do it the molecular orbital theory, it will get 1 unpaired electron. So it has unpaired electron, and that explains presence of unpaired electron. That results into its being paramagnetic. So very beautiful question which was asked in MSET 2014. So these are the ways the questions are being asked to student, and if you prepare nicely, definitely it is going to help you a lot. Few more questions. Now, if you are added with silicon, to what you will add that it will become a P-type semiconductor? So it's a very easy question. You know that group 13, if we add, then it becomes group P-type, and group 15, if we add, then it becomes N-type. So the options where this was a question which was asked in MSET 2011. So you can do it very well, very easily. At group 13, what are the options they have given? Arsenic, phosphorus, indium, antimony. So you can figure out what will be the answer. Makes it a P-type. So P-type in group 13. Bal Gangadhar Indian Tilak. So indium is there, and these are all group 15. So indium will be your answer. So this will make it a P-type semiconductor. So this was the question that was asked. Whereas the Nana, Papa, Asis, Sabimar, this was group 15. So this belongs to group 15. So it will not be, but indium will be the answer because it is group 13 they are asking. They have asked one question of on RMS velocity. So RMS speed at 27 degrees Celsius is 0.3 meter per second. So what will be at 927 degrees Celsius? So you can easily do it. Okay. So 27 degrees 300 Kelvin and 927 is 1200 Kelvin. So it is almost 4 times. So that means it actually will become 2 times because it is root under. So it will become 0.6 meter per second. So easy question, very easy. You can do it if you know 3 RT by M is the RMS speed. So this way you can solve the question. From stoichiometry, they can ask you mole related question, moles, number of atoms, molecules, ions. Sometimes you will be deceived by they will ask gram atom. So gram atom, gram molecule, and gram ion all denotes mole in modern chemistry. All denotes mole moles in modern chemistry. So keep this in mind. So 1 gram atom means 1 mole of atom, 1 gram molecule means 1 mole molecule, 1 gram ion means 1 mole ion. So once they have asked this question based on this, so keep this in mind. Like one question I want to show you, which was asked in 2010. If you take graphite and do the complete combustion, it will form CO2. How much number of CO2 molecules will be produced if you burn 1 gram, 0.1 gram atom of 0.1 gram atom of carbon? So 0.1 gram atom of carbon means 0.1 mole. So if you burn 12 gram, you are going to get 44 gram. But if you burn 0.1 mole, that means 1.2 gram. So you are going to get 4.4 gram. 44 gram means Avogadro number of molecules. So 4.4 will be Avogadro number by 10. So you can easily know that 6.022 into 10 to the power 22 will be the answer. 22, not 23. So these were the questions. So gram atom. Keep in mind gram atom, not gram. Gram atom. So 1 gram atom means 1 mole of atom. 1 mole of atom. So these are the things, student. These are the ways question will be asked. I hope you understood this. So this will be really a great way to prepare for your MSET exam, because from this topic mostly you can get 7-8 questions what I have discussed today. So preparation is required. If you go to thermodynamics, keep this in mind that delta G equal to delta H minus T delta S is going to be a very important equation from which questions can be asked. Next simple, they can ask you enthalpy related question. They can ask you based on entropy related. They can ask you enthalpy related. Enthalpy change equal to inter-energy change plus delta Ng RT. Delta H equal to delta U plus delta N. From this equation, they can also ask question. So keep this in mind. Equilibrium related questions they can also ask in thermodynamics. Delta G standard equal to minus 2.303 RT log Kp Kc. This formula they can ask EMF related. Delta G standard equal to minus NF E cell. So these two questions are actually part of electrochemistry and this is from equilibrium, but they can ask in thermodynamic related also. Like one question they will ask you, they have asked in 2013 question. They have given Gibbs energy 0 and they have given you delta H. Delta is minus 20.5 kilojoule per mole. And they have given delta S as minus 50 joule per Kelvin per mole. Keep this in mind that entropy change in joule, not kilojoule. So this you need to convert in kilojoule by dividing by 1000 and then you simply do the mathematics. You will get the temperature. So you will get the temperature very easily. So put the value in the equation. So delta G is 0. That means delta H minus T delta S equal to 0. So T delta S equal to delta H. So T is equal to delta H by delta S. So you will get delta H is minus 20.5 upon minus 50 into 1 by 1000. So 1000 will go up. So minus 20.5 into 1000 by minus 50 minus cancel, you can find the temperature based on this. So this is 20 times. So it will be approximately 410, I think. 410. So 410 will be the answer. So this was asked in 2013 MSET. So if you know the basics, you can easily solve the question, student. No need to worry. Okay. So basics you have to know, you have to remember the formula, you have to know the SI units in which you are solving the question. So in my next lecture, I will discuss all the inorganic related questions which have appeared. So this was today's class, student. I hope you like it. This I have tried to give you the maximum which I can. Next day when I will discuss about inorganic and in next Saturday I will discuss about organic. So do all of you join and this will be really beneficial to you. Thank you so much.